Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Forgiveness, fam. No, my people are checking on me. I have had my printer with my notes. I have had a beautiful day today. I have. I have gotten up. I have done some I have done some household things. I had a doctor's appointment and they had run some tests on me and everything came back normal. Glory to God. Everything came back normal. I didn't expect anything less because I declare favor and wholeness and healing on my body every single day. Every single day. And hot ginger and lemon water. You better clean out them sinuses, sis. I have elderberry. I have green tea with elderberry today. Green tea with elderberry, some lemon and some honey. Always lemon and honey. So y'all can just put that on your regular list. Always lemon and honey. It just the tea flavor varies. And I should have made it cold because it's like 60 some degrees outside. You put my in cup. All right. You know what I want you to do. Tell me where you are and what's in your cup. Michelle has already done so. And so we're going to tag some people so they can come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor. Come in the room. Okay. So I'm going to highlight and then I'm going to turn my phone off so that the delay won't kill us. We're at about 3 minutes in, and we are out here talking about this will. We're out here talking about the will and how forgiveness helps it to not try to carry all the responsibility and control of your body. So, um, we started talking about, we hit upon the will in January when I was talking about just the parts of the soul and what they do. And so we have the mind, the will, the emotions, the intellect, and the imagination, your understanding, right? And so, you know, the mind, the mind is the thinker, the mind is the figure it out, the mind is the make it make sense machine. And then we have the will, right? And so I told you that the will determines your posture. It sets direction. It makes decisions. The will is the one that says we're not going to get hurt again. The will is the one that said, I bet I won't never. That's what the will does. And sometimes you don't even have to say those words that I just said. Sometimes you don't have to say, I won't never, because your will is going to kick into gear. You're going to, life happens, you get hurt, your will is going to kick into gear and go, mission control, doom, 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 doom. And somewhere in your head and your heart, it's going to say, what's not going to happen again is that. So it makes the decision that you just won't ever get hurt again. Okay? And so we're going to look at the two things that the will does real quick. Hey, Kim Armstrong, you made it. How are you doing? What you got in your cup? I have elderberry, green tea with elderberry. So, two ways the will responds after pain. One, it makes vows. Two, it tries to maintain control. You get hurt real bad, your will says stop in the name of the law. And it's in your head, in your mind, um, you say, I'll never let that happen again. I'll never trust anyone. I'll take care of it. This was me. This last one is me. I don't need nobody. I do not need nobody. I tell you what. See that I tell you what, something not good is going to happen behind I tell you what. And my sisters who have kids and nieces and god kids, baby, that I tell you what means somebody's in trouble. And so those things, those decisions, those statements are not emotions. They're things that we say that we call ourselves protecting ourselves. If I do this, if I do this, then I won't get hurt. You know, you see it on the soap operas all the time. Soap operas, don't okay. TV, whatever. Hallmark movies are good for this. You know, somebody come home, they see their old love, and then they talk to their old love, and their old love says, well, after we didn't make it, I just decided that I wasn't gonna, I was hurt so bad. I was hurt so bad that I just decided I was never going to get involved again. That's what they be saying on the Hallmark movie. So then you spend the rest of the Hallmark movie waiting for Joe Bob to help, waiting for Joe Bob to convince Cindy Lou to go on. Hey, Elder Etoya Thompson Barnes, thank you for coming. And because I'm telling the story of every Hallmark movie ever written. And so, so Joe Bob is sending flowers and showing up at her job, and Cindy Lou just fighting and mad. Cindy Lou has made a vow. Cindy Lou has stiffened. Cindy Lou has hardened her heart. That is Cindy Lou's will. That is Cindy Lou's will at work. But Cindy Lou also thinks that Joe Bob is really cute. And so Cindy Lou goes home, and you see her stressed, and you see her with all this, and you see her, picking up the phone to call Joe Bob and hanging up the phone back again, and you see all the crazy backwards stuff and that's us. Now y'all know that's us. And when I say us, I mean people. I mean just people, because you are trying to do something in the flesh that you are not. You ain't got to do all that. You got to do all that. So what you have done is, instead of addressing the hurt that put you in that spot, Joe Bob and Cindy Lou. Yes, yes, yes. What you have done is retained the hurt on the inside of you, because guess what you haven't done? You haven't forgiven. You have retained the hurt on the inside of you and have decided to protect yourself by your flesh. Sips tea. You want peace, but you also want control. You want to be in love because you want to have a relationship and you want connection and you want to walk hand in hand with Joe Bob in the snow and the dog because it's always a dog too. Yeah, I used to watch Hallmark movies. I did, and then I realized I was watching the same movie over and over again. You want to walk hand in hand with Joe Bob in the snow out in the prairie where y'all used to play football when you was in high school. And then, but then you don't you're imagining, imagination is coming. You're imagining that Joe Bob is just like all the rest of them, and all you're going to do is take my heart and stomp on it, and then I'm gonna be hurt all over again. And I just don't want that. And so now your wheel is out there running amok, and it's restricting your growth, and it's restricting. Right, right. We do that because see, this is the thing is that you say I'm gonna just move on. Okay, you make the decision to move on, but you haven't forgiven. So you moving on with what baggage, and that is why I'm the baggage handler, and that is why you make the decision to I'm gonna just let it go. You ain't let it go. You hadn't let it go because you haven't made the appropriate choice for it to be released from you. Because it's not a matter of I let it go, it's a matter of release. Two different things. Two different things. So now you're walking around here and you're feeling strong and you're feeling wise and you're feeling smart and you're feeling like everything is great and okay until Joe Bob calls and you don't know and you look at your phone and you see Joe Bob number on there. You see his number on there. You see him calling and you sitting there looking at the phone because you don't know whether to answer it or let it go to voicemail because you don't want to get hurt. The wheel. Because now we got to control the narrative. We got to control the narrative. Right? We have to control the narrative. If I can control the variables, I can avoid the pain. If me and my will can get to control everything, then the pain will not happen. Baby, okay. How about the Bible say? How about the Bible says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers them out of them all. It doesn't say that you won't have afflictions. And afflictions can be anything. Afflictions can be Billy Roy hurt you, but Joe Bob is a whole nother person. Joe Bob might be the person that God got for you. But you over here mad at Billy Roy. Now Billy Roy's Michelle's man. So here we are. So you over here mad and ain't forgave Billy Roy, and now you punishing, you bleeding all over Joe Bob. All he want to do is to love you. Right? That gets exhausting. It gets exhausting. Have I not? So finally, Cindy Lou friend, Melissa Ann. Cindy Lou's friend, Melissa Ann, finally just snatches her edges and says, look, if you don't forgive whatever happened to you before you let this good man go. And that's where we get to forgiveness. That's where we get to forgiveness. Because being under the exhaustive thing with the wheel trying to control you and Joe Bob and mad at Billy Roy and got Melissa Ann in your ear talking about he's a good man, Savannah. Right? So you listen. So finally, Cindy Lou listens to her friend and she says, I'm going to forgive. Forgiveness will finally release the burden that Billy Roy left. Forgiveness opens the door. I say this all the time. Y'all gonna get it. I say this all the time. Forgiveness opens the door so that God can walk in and heal the feelings that Billy Roy hurt. Because at this point in the Hallmark movie, Joe Bob is about to walk off. Joe Bob is about to walk off and go back to his stockbroker job in New York. He just happened to be home to take care of some business because his daddy died. And that's why y'all even that's why Joe Bob and Cindy Lou are even talking. Forgiveness does not remove boundaries, though. Let me throw this in here. Forgiveness does not remove boundaries. You can be careful with Joe Bob. Forgiveness does not remove wisdom. Joe Bob may be nice in part one, but in part two, you might find out that Joe Bob got some issues. And so that does not remove wisdom and say, oh, I really don't want to, I really don't want to deal with these issues. And because you use wisdom and because you listen to God, then you can avoid the same pitfalls. See, that's how you avoid the same pitfalls. That's how you don't get hurt the same way again. Is you enter into the space of forgiveness. You enter the space of trusting God. You enter the space of releasing your pride and being and walking in a space of humility so that God can tell you which way to do. Baby, that's a whole Hallmark movie. I know it is. But that's also how forgiveness works in your life. That is how forgiveness, that is how forgiveness will allow you to enjoy. Oh, that's what it is. That's how forgiveness will allow you to enjoy your life and to walk into the path and the life and the future that God has for you. Because while your will is over here talking about what I ain't gonna never do, what you might be actually doing is cutting off the blessings that God is sending to you because you're living in a state of fear because you haven't forgiven. Because unforgiveness puts you in a state of fight or flight. Did I make that practical enough for you? If you release the burden that Billy Roy, Michelle's man, Billy Roy. I don't know how you grew up on the East Coast and came up with that super country southern name, but you did that. You released the hurt that Billy Roy left in your heart. Because that's what biblical forgiveness is. It's the release of a debt. It's the release of a burden. It's the release of a need of a conversation. It's the release of a need to Jasmine Sullivan somebody's car. It's the release of the need to have a conversation for closure because oftentimes all of those things that I just listed don't bring you to a place of peace. You might feel better for a moment, but you still don't have peace and you still don't have comfort and you still don't have confidence because you're still looking at you and your will to control and set the narrative for your existence. Your will ain't that right. Your will needs to be aligned with God's will. And when your will becomes God's will, that's when you can have peace and go forward in the things that God has for you. It doesn't mean that you won't experience. Thank you for sharing, Kim. So when your will gets in alignment with what God's will is for your life, and when you trust Him, because it's a process, y'all, it's a process. When you trust Him, then things start unfolding for you, not magically, just opportunities start to happen. You start seeing things differently. You start having more confidence in hearing what God says, and you start being able to do the things that God would have you to do. And you don't have to worry about orchestrating everything. Whoo! Okay. All right. So that's what I got today for y'all and y'all will and y'all and what you ain't gonna never do and what you ain't gonna never do. Okay. This is what I talk about. This is what I talk about in class. Except class is an interactive thing because I'm on Zoom and we are face to face and I can hear you and you can hear me and we can see each other. So this is what I have. Now I have and this is what I'm about to talk about, Michelle. So while I still have y'all here, I am having a Tea and Truth After Dark next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, it is a mere $10 to get in. I was trying to figure out how to put the flyer up here this afternoon, but I couldn't put it up there. So it's going to be on my page. It's going to be on my page. And it's going to be in the comments up under this live. As soon as I get off of here, I can put it in there. It is only 10 to get in, meaning $10. $10. You can pay via via Cash App, or PayPal, or Zelle. I would love to get about a good 15 or so people in there so we can have some lively conversation and some back and forth, and I can drop some nuggets, and then we'll just see what goes from there. It's going to be like the basics, so you can have some questions, get some questions on your mind that you might want to ask. And if you want to drop the question in the inbox and then we can talk about it on next Wednesday, be so happy to do that. Right? But what I want you to do is just my Cash App is going to be on the flyer. Y'all send me your email too. Send me your email. Put your email either in the comments or send it to me in my inbox so that I can go ahead on and send you a copy of the flyer so you can have the information. And then the flyer is going to, again, the flyer is going to be in the comments and I can send you the flyer directly if you want it. Matter of fact, if you're on here and look, I think probably most of y'all already had a flyer, but if you want the flyer with the information to your inbox, put a 5 in the comments. Put a 5 in the comments. Next Wednesday is going to be fun. And so now here's the thing, y'all. Y'all bring to your Zoom screen whatever you would like to have in your cup. That's why we tea in the truth after dark. Because somebody might not want to put what their preference is in their cup on these here live comments on Beyonce's internet. All right, I got 2 people, me, Michelle, and Kim so far. So y'all come on, and you know what? It's gonna be fun. I just know it's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. Look for the flyer, and I tell y'all what, I will see y'all. See Kim, put in your cup. That's what I'm talking about. In your cup, and just know if you get too crunk, I do have a put you out button. Get too crunk. But we'll be talking about this. Okay, I'll be mentioning this every day until next Wednesday. All right. So y'all come on, and I will see y'all tomorrow for some more about your will and how forgiveness operates in it. In the meantime, tag friend, share this live to your wherever you have permission to share. Like tag. All right, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.